Oh, absolutely. Well, Van Gogh is one of those artists he's a transcendent artist. He really appeals to a massive, broad scale of people and a really broad audience. And I think that's because he's a very honest painter. And he is really leaving everything on the canvas. There's very little mystery to what he paints because it's very honest work, and it's very elemental, particularly with his landscapes, which this show is really about. It's about that connection between humanity, between people, the earth, nature, and a spiritual power, and that's what he's trying to put on the canvas. And I think those universal themes really appeal to a lot of people. And of course, his pictures are astonishingly beautiful, and they're radical for the time. He's, without doubt, even after Impressionism and Post-Impressionism, he is the most active and expressive artist, painting that explosion of colour that everyone knows his work about after 1885. That explosion of colour is radical, and it really appeals to a lot of people, and it's relevant today. So it's a combination of beautiful pictures, energetic brushwork, radical art, but also with a universal appeal. Van Gogh exhibitions are very hard to put on because he's such a popular artist that many lenders don't want to lend their paintings, and there of course there's also many exhibitions about Van Gogh on anywhere around the world at any one time. There's usually at least one Van Gogh exhibition, and there is a limited number of pictures that he painted, and again it's very difficult to borrow them because people don't like to lend them. So in this instance we've taken probably about 8 years of planning to get this exhibition to fruition. It was curated by a wonderful Dutch curator called Gerard van Herkten, and he has worked on this show for 8 years, putting it together and really selecting carefully the loans and getting permission to borrow them. And then we've come in probably the last 3 or 4 years and worked very hard to put the show together and achieve what we have. Yes, the last Van Gogh exhibition was 20 years ago. It was a much smaller exhibition. It was also more of a retrospective, so it was about Van Gogh's life. This show is more focused on a particular theme, and I think that's why we've created a much bigger show, because Gerard has created a new approach and some new ideas about Van Gogh's art, and that has appealed to many of the lenders, and that's why I think they have been very generous in sending to Australia what they have. So we're very lucky to have as many works as we have. We have 49 works by Van Gogh in the exhibition, 36 paintings and 13 beautiful drawings, and covering all aspects of his landscape career. Oh, well, the numbers of visitors, the people love Van Gogh and they've absolutely reacted accordingly. We're getting extraordinary numbers. I believe the average is about 5,000 people a day. Now our previously highest exhibition attendance has been about 3,000 people a day. So if this keeps up, this will be the highest attended exhibition that the National Gallery have ever put on. So it's testament to the quality of the exhibition, as well as, of course, the people's love for Van Gogh. This is the 14th exhibition in the Melbourne Winter Masterpieces series, which is we stage one every year for the last 14 years, and they're major international shows, what people would call blockbusters. And we've been working on these exhibitions for, well, this is our 14th, so we've built up a good reputation right around the world for looking after people's works of art. There is wonderful trust and relationships that we've built over many decades, actually, not just the last 14 years, over many decades, that give people the faith and trust that we will put on a very good exhibition that will be well attended and their artworks will be very well looked after. And there are relationships built with our partners, Art Exhibitions Australia, who we've partnered with to put this exhibition on. They too have got these wonderful relationships with major galleries right around the world. Practically every major gallery in the world have at some stage lent to Melbourne. And so we've built these relationships up, and we keep coming up with great ideas and really great exhibitions. So and we're going to keep doing it. I mean, we've been doing the Melbourne Winter Masterpieces for 14 years, but we're going to keep on doing these major blockbuster exhibitions. We have very strong relationships with museums in China. We've put on many exhibitions over many years, over the last 20 or 30 years, from the Forbidden City. I think we've put on 2 or 3 exhibitions of works from the Forbidden City, and so we have a very good relationship with China, and we attract many visitors. Of course, we've got a large Chinese population in Australia, in Melbourne, and so we always have had strong relationships, and I think we're going to continue to build on those relationships. I'm certain that in the near future we're going to have more exhibitions from China, but the Qianlong exhibition was extraordinary. It was a very big exhibition, as you know, very beautiful exhibition, and again a very clever idea, I think, to show the work for the Qianlong Emperor encouraged to be created and bought himself.